roll. Mike Janik is here. Diane Santa.
Here.
Rob Coulter.
Present.
Nancy Driggs.
Present.
Ellie Byrne.
Yeah.
Dennis Milborn.
Here.
Donna Edwards. Jerry Larkin. Nancy Mello. All right. So item 2, I could post this up here as well. I started to do that, but didn't want to bore you with me reading my emails.
Is it on?
It was. Just a time out after no activity.
Dennis, this is what.
No, thanks.
You're welcome.
All right, got Rob's worksheet up.
I had the agenda, but I can't
You excited about this as much as I am?
Yeah.
do that right.
Yes.
It's not as bad as it looks.
Been
It actually got
waiting all
shorter.
day for this.
So do you want to work off the agenda for the minutes?
Yeah, may I have the floor?
Hmm?
Okay,
Nikki
so,
had the floor.
Oh. Consider it yours.
all right, thank you. The gentleman from Tiverton having yield to the secretary.
You have 5 minutes.
Item 2A is the March 4th meeting minutes. These have been circulated and were approved a long, long time ago. I'm just asking for a confirmatory vote because the agenda, the meeting that the minutes were approved at way back when had one typo in the agenda, and I don't want it ever to be said that we did not comply. So there's no changes proposed to that. The request is just a motion to ratify the March 4th meeting minutes as already approved.
I move,
All right, so Nancy with Ellie
I move we
second.
ratify the March 4th minutes. It's
all in
already
favor?
approved.
Do we need a second?
Aye.
Oh,
I second it.
Ellie
Thank you.
second.
Okay, great. All right, and that's unanimous.
Aye, so we have a unanimous.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
All right, next we move on to the
6,
June
17th.
17th. All right, June 17th.
That was mine.
Yeah, some of the delay is if I miss a meeting, it takes me a little bit to catch up.
What about the June 3rd meeting?
Let me pull the worksheet up.
Rob has filed an unsigned copy.
Yeah, the June 3rd meeting was just a status to let you know those minutes were approved. I just need to have Diane sign them. So if I wasn't at the meeting where they were approved, I sign the minutes if I took them, but then I have somebody else attest that they were approved at the meeting. So what I'll do, and this can happen after the end of the term, that's fine. I'll create a package and I'll get the 3 of us to sign them. So that was just an
Okay.
update to the commission. No action needed on June 3rd. Those were approved. And I filed drafts of these, or in the case of them being approved, the approved unsigned minutes have all been posted. So this is our 25th meeting, and they're all up there, including the ones from last meeting.
25. Wow.
Yep. Counting the one we missed for lack of quorum, so maybe cheating
okay.
a little bit by one there.
That's still...
Yeah.
Okay, so we're at the June 17th minutes. This is, you're going to just need Diane's attestation?
No, this
Attest-
one looks like
No,
I
the-
have to sign.
No, these need a vote of the commission.
Okay.
These were circulated by email. We can,
Yep.
I guess, put them on the screen if anybody would like a little more time. These are the June 17th meeting minutes. Nancy took them, and then I formatted them to be roughly consistent with our usual format.
Okay, do we have a motion?
There are no votes taken on really
No.
anything of substance until, I want to say, after Labor Day. Just
Pretty
keep
much.
that in mind. We didn't vote a stipend for the chair or anything like
Oh.
that, so.
That was missing, definitely need to get that in there. Is there a motion?
Motion to
Motion.
approve.
And second by Ellie. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Missed it. Jerry, thank you, sir.
So who had that motion?
I made the
Diane,
motion.
Diane,
with
and I
Ellie
seconded.
Okay. All right,
Was there
excellent.
any nays? Let me just ask that since not everybody had their hand up. No nays, we're unanimous.
Unanimous, noted. Thank you. Okay. Next is agenda item 2, Charlie, which is the October 7th minutes. If you're following along in the worksheet, the September 2nd meeting minutes, that was just an update to the commission that those have been approved, and I just need to sign both the minutes themselves and the approval, so nothing to be done there. That takes us up to October 7th. These do need approval. and-
October 7th?
Yep, these minutes were taken by me, but I just, yeah, October 7th is really not that long ago. So these are draft minutes that have been circulated. That was our 18th meeting. There may have been votes at that, so let's just maybe take a second.
Did Rob will prepare a final version and bring a hard copy to this meeting for Diane to attest approval?
Yeah, because action wasn't taken on November 25th, I don't have them to sign today for Diane, so I'll create a full package and
Okay.
So
We'll get
I don't show any motions or anything that was approved. We had discussion on the budget adoption process to have the budget committee proposed budget put on ballot. But it wasn't, there was no vote at that time on 10/7.
Yeah, it was actually a relatively short meeting. The meeting ended at 7:47.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that one's pretty straightforward. So if it could please the commission, I would ask for a motion to approve as circulated.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Very unanimous.
Okay, that was October 7th.
And it was Diane and Ellie, but Dennis was a close second. On the
I'll give it
second.
to Dennis.
You give it to Dennis?
Yeah, give it to
Rob,
Dennis.
it doesn't seem like you missed this many meetings when I look at this.
No, a lot of them, if I wasn't there for the meeting, they were approved. I like to
Yeah.
have a counter signature.
All right, so
Yeah, that's why these are all down to the end.
the next is 10/28. We did have
Okay.
votes at that meeting.
Yeah, just quickly on the worksheet, the October 21st meeting, again, those were already approved. I just want Diane to countersign. And then, yeah, back to the 28th, that does need approval.
Okay, just a quick summary of what I have. We had a vote on the top four vote getters, section 401, which is the town council. Nancy Mello made the motion, Nancy Driggs seconded, it was unanimous. It was changing treasurer from elected to appointed. Report to the town council, but appointed by town administrator. Donna Edwards motioned, Dennis second, and unanimous. 1002, crap, I didn't know what that was, what that section was.
The personnel board?
Okay,
No, personnel board is 1007, zoning board is 1002.
okay, and that was to go with the changes as proposed. That was Nancy Mello motioned, Donna Edwards second, and the vote was unanimous.
Yep.
1007 was the Personnel Board. Again, the changes that had been proposed. Donna Edwards was, made the motion, Nancy Mello second. It was unanimous. Those were the motions on that particular date. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve?
Second?
All in favor? We're unanimous. And then back to the agenda, November 18th.
Okay, so that, we're in the home stretch here. November 18th was just 2 meetings ago. Let's see if there are any worksheet notes. No, we're almost done.
November 17th, November
Yeah.
18th. So we did have some votes then.
Yeah, this was just, I guess, just 2 weeks ago. The 18th was the...
Yeah, so the actual date, I believe there was the 17th.
No, we had 2 meetings.
We had
Oh, that's right,
back-to-back.
that was the back-to-back night,
Yeah.
yeah, okay,
And we did, I think, the 17th last meeting.
okay.
So on the 18th, Patrick Jones joined us. It was a review of Budget Committee role and timing of FTR. A motion was made to have the Budget Committee submit the budget for the referendum. The voting in favor was Ellie Byrne, Nancy Driggs, Rob Coulter, Jerry Larkin. Voting against was Donna Edwards, Nancy Mello, and myself. The motion passed.
Who made the motion?
Very good question, Nancy.
Oh,
I thought it was
Jerry.
Jerry.
I
Yeah.
think Jerry
I'm
made
here
it.
on the 18th.
Actually, because this was a motion already on the floor, you have to look at the minutes from the 17th.
Uh,
Yeah, to see who made that motion.
Okay, that was, Jerry had made the motion and Rob had seconded it. Thank you, Rob.
Yeah, the chair reread the motion on the table.
Yep.
Further discussion and debate.
And there was another vote to, a motion to allow the school committee and the town council to put a unified budget before the voter. With the budget committee budget to be first on the ballot. That was motion made by Jerry Larkin, second by Nancy Driggs. The yeas were myself, Diane Santa, Rob Coulter, Nancy Driggs, Nancy Mello, and Ellie Byrne. Voting nay was Donna Edwards. And there was another motion. The commission, CRC, approves that final budget should be approved by May 1st with corresponding dates. That was motion made by Rob, second by Jerry, and the vote was unanimous.
What was that vote? I'm sorry.
That was to, that the final budget should be approved by May 1st with corresponding
Oh, right.
dates for the different entities to present theirs to achieve that,
And that passed.
that end.
Yep.
And that passed unanimously. Rob made the motion, Jerry seconded. That was my notes on November 18th. Is there any discussion, corrections, or questions? If none, I'll entertain a motion. If anybody would like to make it, to approve the minutes.
I approve.
You made the motion, Nancy? Second?
Second.
Dennis, thank you.
You're staring at me.
All in favor of approving the motion, the minutes from November the 18th? All in favor? We are unanimous. Thank you. Back on my next date. And the last one is November 25th.
Fast.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Rob, for doing all of that. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So the last meeting minutes were distributed.
Oh, we're not done yet.
November 25th.
It's the last one.
It was a nice try, though.
Sorry.
You're close. Are there any questions, concerns, changes?
What's the date of the minutes? that
No.
were-
Just the last week where you
November
took them was a
25th.
relatively short meeting.
Oh.
There were
Oh, the
just
25th?
Yes.
Yes.
It appeared, I wasn't there, but it appeared to be entirely administrative.
There was a vote on tabling
I saw it.
your minutes worksheet. If you need that. I can give you the vote. Just reading through, this was where we basically assigned out the organizing our language for the different articles that we wanted to present. And I'm looking further, I don't see anything of a motion other than that. So 11:25, last meeting, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All right, Jerry and Ellie, all in favor? We're unanimous. Great. General admin items and updates. I did receive a text message today asking, they were doing the agenda for Monday's town council meeting, and the question was asked whether I would be coming to present a detailed presentation of our proposals or a summary with some background. And in the text message, it was it kind of made more sense, and I put it to the committee for their feedback. I'll do just that. I'll go with our letter once we've completed the edits of that, present it to the town council, give a brief summary of each of those items, and then the council will plan at some point in the future, after the first of the year, to put a public hearing together where we will make ourselves available, or at the very minimal, I will be there to discuss what changes we proposed, what edits they may make, what changes they may propose, and give the public the opportunity to hear that. So Monday's meeting, for our purposes, will be the summary of what we present, what we finished tonight, presented, and then after the first of the year, a public hearing will be held. So hopefully I didn't overstep my bounds. If there was anybody that felt I was out of line, please feel free to set me straight.
So that'll be this Monday. That will be this
This
Monday.
Monday.
Yes, December 8th. And that was my update. I
So
don't
the
have any others. Anybody else?
Really dumb comment, but that, I take it that we didn't get on the agenda for November 23rd, right? 24th, right before Thanksgiving.
No, we weren't.
No. Because
Oh, we were?
well, actually, you're right. No, because Jerry sat there with me.
Oh,
Yes, I went.
okay.
I went and I gave an update,
Okay, excellent.
and I won't say anything about facial gestures or body
Rolling of
language.
the eyes.
That was discussed at the last meeting as to what was.
I see, okay. Thank you. That was Monday, November 24th.
Yes.
Okay. I only asked because there's some reference to it and it's a prior meeting, so it's good to make a note of it here.
Yep. Okay. Keep it clean.
Trying.
Yes, I slipped
All right.
a couple of times. It was a ship.
Yes, it's still here. So acknowledgement, item 4, acknowledgement, potential discussion of received or potential new proposed charter changes. I don't know that we heard anything from the Harbor Commission.
Nope, never heard anything from him.
Okay, so.
I think any changes that they propose would be contingent upon the new plan that is still under development. So,
Okay. So, we haven't had anything else, then we can move to item number 5. Hey, come back here. General review and discussion of existing charter and potential proposals for charter changes, including potential voting by commission on recommended proposals. So, what would be the best document? To go to the draft?
yeah.
Yeah, let me pull that up.
Somewhere I'm trying to find, I think it was in the draft. I think there's a typo,
All my tabs are showing my plot for my
and
trips.
I can't find where
Portugal and Ireland.
you had
Nice.
When are you going to
indicating that.
Portugal and Ireland?
I'm going to Portugal in May and Ireland in August.
Mainland or?
Mainland, yes.
Nice.
All right, let's get that
Okay.
sheet up.
So if you pull that sheet up, Mike, what I'm thinking, because we've got some language from Ellie and some language from Jerry. I don't know if anyone else has language that we go into the language section, which is the appendix.
Is it the tracker or the
No, the
recommendation list?
recommendations, yeah.
Thanks.
And then after we, agree on what the changed language would be, sorry, Mike, it's CRC draft. You want me to just pop it up to you?
Diane, which is this one?
Yes.
In this one, I think that I just found where the typo.
I just reshared with you, so it should pop
If
up.
anybody wants paper copies of the thing I sent, I have them.
Yes, please.
Where was it? I'm sure there's a lot of typos.
Page number 3,
Page 3.
where it says summary.
I think if you don't open it for the first time,
This one, section 301, number 3.
it'll stay in your email.
This is changed.
3?
No, number 3.
Oh,
See the
number 3.
Right after the 301. Yeah, right here. I think that should be the town council and school committee.
Yeah, now it'll stay in your sheets after you open it because it's open in 3
Yeah, I
sheets.
didn't
It's weird like
change
that.
any of
It is.
this
This is-
till we
I'm
saw what Jerry's working
an
on.
office guy.
But, yeah.
But that was the
Oh,
vote.
Judge.
In your head, you're like,
Yeah.
every attachment's
Then
gonna be in.
let's see, in
So it
addition
should
to
be
allowing
You
the
would
the
think.
budget. Because the budget committee's coming up with the final.
the town council. and
Right.
Like, I'm like that.
Yeah.
I have to call
Okay,
Tim when
thank
I'm,
you.
You're welcome.
and I'm like, all right, Tim, how do you get me here? Tim, how do I get here? Tim, how do I get here?
So as we work our way through this, the beginning was just, I'm assuming everybody has read through the opening.
All right,
The budget process.
Michael, I just suggested to Diane, see the number 3 on the screen that's up there right now?
Article 3?
No, it's section 301
Section
and
3,
then
yep,
paragraph 3.
yep.
That should be, in addition to allowing elector budget referendum, we recommend the, oh,
It changes automatically. That's the beauty
oh,
of
because you
a
just changed
Google
it. Oh,
Doc.
never
Yeah.
mind, it changed.
Yeah.
Real time.
It is.
So this, what Mike is showing right here is the summary. So if we make changes to the actual charter sections in organization, we would need to reflect that up here. So I'm wondering if we should first go into the language, which is in the second section, to see what Jerry has come up with and how we need to adjust that. And then I can go, then we can look at what we need to change in the summary, if that makes
All
sense.
right, attachment A.
Yeah,
Or-
so that right there. So that's the actual text from the charter. And Jerry has his outlined in the same way. So this is where we could edit it. Is that what you think, Jerry? Like, we'll read through your language and then, if it's adopted, then we can plug it right into,
The language, I think, is close to language you could use in a final version of the charter. Some of it may need some modification, and in particular, I think the first concept was about the timeline. I think I got the dates wrong because my notes were wrong, but at any rate, they're each kind of like standalone concepts that they can debate, and some of them articulate with each other and some are contradictory to each other. So you could kind of like go through them and say, yes, this represents the spirit of what the committee voted, or not, or I leave it to you guys to decide what you want to do with this.
Well, looking at B1, it seems fairly straightforward. Is there any need for any changes to occur there?
Which one, budget concept,
the initial budget, joint budget workshop. So I'm looking at what's up there and
Right.
seeing if we can plug in your changes to reflect what you're,
I don't think so, actually, because
because
so
we've
the-
got several concepts, we need to
Right.
determine which one we want
So
to
the
apply.
conceptual issue is modifying the calendar. This language will not be able to, you cannot plug it into the charter.
No,
So,
yep.
because it actually is relevant to all sections of 301B, so Article 3, 301B.
1 through 12.
1 through 12, because each section, each number kind of addresses a different point in time of the adoption of the budget. The idea is that you get to you have to have the final budget adopted by May 15th. What's magic about May 15th? That's what allows the school committee sufficient time to meet. So first of all, like whatever gets adopted on May 15th, then the school department can figure out the budget based on that. And then the school committee actually has to meet in order to do any layoffs that have to occur. And the layoffs have to occur by June 1st, or you can't do them by law.
So backing up from May 15th, we would need to have everything occur, including a potential elector petition.
Right, everything has,
Competing budgets
so-
to give council and school committee
Right.
options.
Which is the way it was, and
Yeah.
that's the way,
Yeah.
and I think it just didn't get caught because the whole,
Getting rid of the FTR.
well,
the
I have to
elected.
say, I went to some of the meetings and I was the only member of the public there. So when all of this stuff was being debated, and I think it just didn't register on anybody's radar, including mine, but I wasn't really looking at it
Yeah.
so closely for that particular issue. That if you adopt it, if you give the adoption a hard date of June 30th, horse out of the barn, you can't lay off teachers then.
Yep. So, as we look at your budget concepts, budget concept 1,
So that's budget concept 1, is sort of like adopt the final, whatever mechanism you use to adopt the final budget. It can't be June 30th, it has to be May 15th. And then you can back up everything from that. I threw out dates which I thought were reasonable for the school committee and the town council and other entities and, the budget committee to adopt their unified final budget, all that stuff. But those are all kind of flexible, I think, as long as you get to May 15th and you've got a budget.
so our November 18th meeting, we had approved that the final budget should be approved by May 1st with corresponding dates.
I know, that's why my notes were wrong.
Okay.
So, but, yeah, so you could basically take May 15th out at the end, and that actually,
May 1st.
the last sentence is really what conceptually tells you what we're trying to do. And make it May 1st, which actually, and frankly, is better. And there isn't much difference financially between May 1st and May 15th. By that date, the critical issue that will determine the budget from the state's point of view is what the state aid is. That's gonna be done by then. That's certainly not gonna go down.
Right.
Not to go back in history, but when we used to have the town financial
Yeah.
meeting, didn't we, it was like either the first or second
Right.
weekend in May. It was
Right.
in May. We had a
Correct.
budget by,
And that's actually what the charter said before this last adoption, was the referendum then happened, I think it was supposed to be the second Saturday in May, or maybe it was the third Saturday. But even then, we had a very narrow window, because I remember we had to like
Mhm.
make sure that we had everything posted and met and did things, because we also got whacked one year with health insurance and transportation costs. That was the infamous all-day K year.
But that seemed to benefit the town better when we did it in the beginning part of May.
Right,
So that, in essence, the school budget,
right.
you know, was.
I'm wondering if what Jerry has here could be something like guiding principles, right? Create a whole, so instead of 301B, like we move that other stuff down as a recommended timeline or something like that, but up at the top, label it this, your concepts for section 301 as, you know, section 301A, guiding principles, and then put them down because they're the conceptual kind of big picture.
But my understanding of the Jerry's mission was just to think of various concepts,
Right.
none
So-
necessarily guiding.
Right.
So to your point, Dan, you can sort of give what's the idea in the following paragraph, the main idea. Back to phonics, right? Or reading comprehension. So you could sort of, and again, for one, it would be to make sure that there is sufficient time for the school committee to effect layoffs if necessary. Each concept doesn't easily link to a subsection of Article 3, well, somewhere in Article 7, because they, sorry, a subsection of 301, because those subsections are now gone. Like the whole thing about the, for 4, for instance, it doesn't link to any particular section. It just links to, it doesn't link to any subsection. It just links to this section overall, which is Article 3, pages 3 and 4 of the whole budget process.
So if you were to look at this, Jerry, does what you have here conflict with that?
With what?
What we had,
From the charter language.
So,
looked at previously?
I'd have to go back
Can you
and
make
look
it a
through it
little
all
bigger?
again.
Oh, it's on 200
Yeah.
already? Yeah.
So I think, again, the final language is less important than whether or not they want to pursue the concept. If they want to
Moving
pursue
it
the
forward.
concept,
Right.
then you turn it over to the solicitor to say, give us what language changes, and that's the problem with the calendar in particular, is because it sort of has all these other little nuances that are related to each other. So if they say nuts to you or uninterested, there's no point in trying to actually recommend the actual language. Having said that, I think you could use some of the language in the other concepts as I wrote them. They would be fairly readily transferable into the charter itself. Would it help if I kind of like went through what I was doing with each one of them?
Yes.
But is the threshold question here really, this looks like drafting and wordsmithing. This looks like concepts.
Correct.
I thought we were in the concept business.
That's what I thought too.
We are, but the other sections, the changes were very limited.
Yeah.
So it was easy to show the committee what the language would look like.
No, and that's the problem, is that you can't do that with this particular section of the charter easily anyway.
Right, because it hits so
And
many
they'll never
things.
follow the stream. Whereas a lot of it was kind of correcting
Right.
language that just wasn't elegant or was contradictory or whatever. Some of it was conceptual, but it was easier to change with a few
Right,
words.
when I first looked at this, the original language in the charter and the budget adoption process, I thought it was too prescriptive and too detailed. So
In some ways, yeah.
that's why I'm wondering if this is what if this is what we believe the budget process should be, what you've outlined here, these major concepts, then why couldn't we list those and then say the budget committee shall develop a schedule to be used for the preparation, review, and submission of the unified budget, and give them more flexibility rather than us trying to
You could.
come up with those
I mean,
dates.
yes, you don't necessarily need to specify the dates, other than it does give them some guideposts to know when to have
True,
certain
yeah,
things done
I
by. You could summarize, that's why I got to the list. It's like, actually, if you just look at the last sentence, that tells you the whole thing. The concept itself could stand alone as just the last sentence in that paragraph.
The authority for adoption of the unified budget?
No,
that
I'm
one?
talking about, no, this is concept one.
Oh,
This is just the
concept one.
calendar. You could just sort of say, at the latest date for the referendum or
Okay.
adoption of a unified budget should be no later than May 1st. Full stop. That's the whole idea. And then they can alter the language in the charter to be as prescriptive or not prescriptive. That whole section could just be that sentence, and then they leave it to the budget committee to kind of like,
Kind of up with their own dates.
you're sworn in, go. This is your deadline. And that allows them to do their work as they see fit.
Set up
it-
their own dates.
Yeah, I mean, it would be setting up their own dates. The disadvantage there is that a bad actor committee could say, we're not starting our work until April 26th, and there's no way you can make us. And then that's 4 days of sheer chaos.
Yeah.
That, as much of a veteran of town politics as I am, I just don't see that happening, but you never know.
But wouldn't it also have to, if the budget committee, if one of their duties and obligations now is to be the author of the final, but it could also fall under the budget
So-
committee duties and responsibilities.
So again, each concept stands alone, and some of them are, and that's one of the other concepts down here. I forget which one it is. There's 6 altogether. So I think that's, concept 3 is that in addition to creating and submitting a unified budget, blah, 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 that they should also be doing
Right.
long-term forecasting.
Right.
So maybe I should actually just work through it and tell you guys what I said, and then you can ask questions or read it and ask questions.
I guess the only
Does that help?
concern I have is, especially given where we are in the meetings, like concept 2, I don't think we've considered before.
No.
Like, that's not
did.
what we approved,
No.
right?
We did actually do that last week.
Yeah.
That is what we did.
Yeah, we did.
I was gonna say, we did a little bit more than
I
just
voted
administrative
against.
stuff. And again, none of these, and we
Okay.
actually voted, I think.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know.
we did.
I'm just, from a
Yeah,
distance
I
that,
voted against that one.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that doesn't mean we can't vote to not put that forward, and frankly, I don't know what the chances of it
Yeah,
even.
we agreed we could
Getting much of
revisit
a
any
hearing.
of.
no, it's fine. There were only 5 people here. It's late in the cycle. I thought we were implementing what the commission had voted on when we had 8 or 9 of us here. And it looks like all 6 of these, I think, were voted, other than that seemed new to me, the population of the budget committee.
Yep.
But there's certainly nothing that stops a vote on it.
So if we look at Jerry's concepts and we look at what we have in the document that Diane had put together, we could probably, with some minor revisions to those, the summary of suggested changes, adopt which of these concepts that we want to do. And then we can take the adjusted dates out, eliminate that, that portion of it that's, firm and fixed, kind of, as opposed to a concept.
Well, they've all actually been adopted. I just kind of fleshed out
Yep.
the idea.
Yeah. So in the first of, adjust the timeline, so that is your concept one. The first sentence up there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then,
And does this timeline here seem to match up with what you were?
More or less.
Thinking
Again, my notes were sketchy, so.
I did, like, we do have, if we look through this quickly, the preliminary budget adopted by the town council and school committee on or before March 15th.
Yep.
That's not in here, we'd have to,
Again, I don't think the dates, other than the May 1st date, are all that hard. And you don't even need to give them because they could sort of still do the work without those dates.
so a preliminary budget must be adopted by the town council and school committee. So I understand the school committee vote for their budget, but the town council is the school committee presenting to the town council on their budget? I'm not sure.
So, no, so the preliminary budget is something adopted by the school committee that is then put forward, previously was put forward to the budget committee, and then now it's put to it's still actually put to the budget committee. It's the budget committee that then puts something to the town council. I just wouldn't perseverate on the dates that I put in that, or even up there. The real idea
Yeah,
is
no,
to
I'm
make
thinking
sure.
through the process. So a preliminary budget adopted by the town council, is that the municipal budget?
Right.
Okay.
So the, boy, now I'm wondering, does the town council now, so it used to be each entity had to adopt a preliminary budget by a certain date. And then they also had to adopt a final budget by a certain date. And then it was the budget committee that adopted the final budget that went on the ballot. I don't know if the town council goes before the budget committee now, do they? Or is it just the department heads? I think it's just the department heads.
And I think it's just
Interesting.
to understand their budget, not to
Proposed budget.
get voted. I think it just, and again, I haven't been on the budget committee, but my assumption is it's just informational.
Yeah.
And then whatever was put forward by, assuming the town administrator, that the budget committee could agree with that or adjust it.
Right. So the concept one, I wrote agnostic to whether or not it's the town council or the budget committee that adopts the final unified budget that goes on the ballot or doesn't go on the ballot.
So essentially, we're saying a preliminary municipal budget must be adopted by March 15th and a preliminary school committee budget. Okay.
so, all right, so that takes us through the first sentence.
I think I'm feeling like these concepts are not necessarily, they don't necessarily flow together. They are
No, some
separate
of them,
concepts.
they're very separate
So-
concepts. Some of them would be consistent with each other, some would be directly contradictory to each
Right.
other. It really
So-
depends on whether or not the town council wants to take it up, debate it, reject it or not, or adopt it. For each of them, like they could sort of say, hey, we really hate that idea. We hate the idea of changing the calendar, but we'll take something else up. I think they're gonna reject.
I'm sort of agreeing with Rob that I wish this whole thing came up with five of us present, and some people don't even know this exists. And what we had more present when we did the vote on the vote that we did take last week of having the budget committee be the presenting the docket and being the first.
Right,
And
so-
all that kind of stuff, and
The only thing was, so the only one of these concepts that was taken up when we only had a quorum of 5 was number 2. That's the composition of the committee, budget committee. Everything else was, and everybody has this document because I sent it to everybody. So-
right, okay.
I guess more broadly too, I'm not, I don't know, that, at least as I see our role, is like give them this menu of options for them to pick. I mean, I think like, at least as I see our view, is like, this is our recommendation. There might be some alternatives to get from A to B that we're neutral on, you know, that may be the way to phrase it. But just categorically, just saying like, hey, here's 10 things we think you should think about without a recommendation.
I don't like that.
But maybe 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6, they're
Yeah.
not inconsistent with each other, right? Or certainly not 1,
I'd have to go back.
3.
So I think the reason that there are different alternatives or different ways of looking at it is because people are skeptical that they'll give up authority over the budget, frankly.
Well, that's,
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
wouldn't make it easy for them.
So,
They'll come up with their own thinking, but
well, let's talk briefly about budget concept 1, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. So,
Okay.
1 is the date.
Yep.
3, is the budget committee meeting throughout the year.
Yep.
4 is the town council and the school committee having the option of placing a budget on the ballot,
Yep.
and alternative budget without the requirement for obtaining signatures. And alternative to comply with all those. 5 is the town council adopts a unified budget if, in the event, then that's submitted by the budget committee. The budget committee shall have the authority to place before the voters the unified budget that was adopted by the budget committee as its submission to the town council. So,
I think, when you look at it that way, Michael, those, all the ones you just sort of pointed out, they sort of flow nicely together.
Right.
They
They're
can-
not
So-
contradictory.
So this would be the argument I would make if I was, in a debate class or something. So 6 is the one where it returns the authority to the budget committee.
Right.
Town council no longer has is no longer the body that actually adopts the budget ordinance or decides what's on the ballot. I don't think they're gonna go for that. If you took
But
4 and 5, you've actually then allowed entities that also have a role in the budget process the option of essentially acting as petitioner budgets. And you could even make the argument that's a better overall strategy because each entity can put its own budget on, and then maybe you take away the elected budget. Again, not something we've discussed, and I don't know that they would go for it. I'm not sure how popular it would be, but they've raised the bar so high now for the petitioner ballot, it's kind of like gone over the top a little bit, or maybe a lot. Although I think that's actually what people were voting against when they had voted in favor of these changes to begin with.
so
Just my opinion.
I'm curious how you feel that would we have then the potential for 3 budgets on the ballot?
Correct.
Only altered by the town council and the school committee in the sections that they are responsible for.
Correct.
And we'd have to choose, the electors would choose one. So the budget
Right.
committee, the town council's version of a budget, or the school committee's version of a budget.
Right. So
I'm concerned that would be very divisive again. because you're gonna have the
Compared to
schools. Well, right now, I'm not advocating that it stay the way it is at this point, but right now, the town council is the lightning rod. They make the decisions. If their decisions are unacceptable, then, you know, they're gonna be the ones that hear the feedback.
Yeah,
Would-
so, yeah, go ahead, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, with the, you know, the schools putting forward a budget, they'll leave the municipal side alone. Let's say they wanted an increase of 10%.
So nobody's budget could, that's in the text, is that nobody's budget could go above the
Put over the
cap.
4% cap.
And they
Yeah.
can't monkey with the budget, the municipal budget adopted by the town council or by the budget committee. They can only monkey with their own budget. So they would still have to observe the cap.
Do you
That's
have
kinda
that
like
in
the-
here, Jerry, about the cap?
I think so. If I didn't. Yeah, so such
there-
as, such alternative budget must comply with all laws and restrictions on the cap on increases. It's the last sentence,
Yeah,
actually.
and it's concept 4.
The other thing is that you've got, even if you had 3 budgets on, you've still got a likelihood of one getting a majority. If you have multiple petitioners' budgets, then you've got a pretty good chance of going to a runoff, depending on, I mean, we've had like years where there were 4 different, you know, there were like 3 petitioner budgets and the budget committee's budget, et cetera, et cetera.
When I consider what I think might be palatable to the council, acknowledging our role as, you know, advisory, I don't see them going with the potential for 3 budgets.
Right.
If we're gonna go with our feeling that the budget committee should be back putting the budget together, I almost think that should be what we focus on.
I agree,
So
I agree.
but you only have 3 budgets if those entities exercise that option.
Right,
And the other thing that I think is helpful there is that the fact that the budget committee and the school committee and the town council can each put forward their own budget kind of should make people a little bit more circumspect about what they do in the budget process, because they know that if they're, you know, it's actually, if you will, it's a classic example of separation of powers. So if you have 3 branches of government, which can each hold each other accountable in some fashion, you have a more, you know, not really happening right now, but you have a better chance of no one branch exerting authority over all of the other 2.
Agreed, but how do we, in line with what we've discussed over the past 11 months and what we've kind of, I think that the majority, at the time, I'm not gonna say where I put that. How do we get this?
Yeah.
Get this forward?
I would propose doing one thing. I think it is more likely that they would take up in a serious fashion concepts 4 and 5, and we could certainly revote 6. So each of these has been voted on again. Any one of them, we have full, you know, if somebody wants to make a motion to pull one of them off, we can revote it. You know, if people don't like 2, if people don't like 6, people don't like any one of them, they are not my children, would like to vote on my children, you're welcome to do that. I can tell you how to vote on my children.
I'm not trying to be difficult, but I don't see any, I wasn't here, it was a 37-minute meeting, and I don't see anywhere in the minutes that there was a vote on budget concept 2. You said you voted against it, but that's not even in the minutes, so I'm just saying that I don't know
Well,
what
right.
happened, or 5 people here for
No,
37
No,
minutes.
that was what I gave you earlier. Ellie made a motion, Jerry second. The budget committee will consist of 2 school committee, 2 town council, treasurer, and 2 electors.
Tape to verify it, I guess.
No, we definitely did. I goofed in not putting it in the minutes. It was right at the end of the
You
meeting.
moved to not put
I goofed in
Oh, you
not putting
goofed.
it in the
I was
minutes.
gonna say
I
you
totally,
moved.
I
That's
hadn't
okay.
written it down,
Okay.
but it was right before we left. And we were coming up with, maybe we need some concepts to help them come up with
Right.
some thoughts. And
Well, that was-
and
that-
I argued, I didn't think we had any reason to help them come up with thoughts. I think we need to give them our thoughts.
Again,
Are we,
anyone want to make a motion to open a debate about it? I'm certainly happy to.
what, to debate on the,
So each one of these concepts has been
Come.
adopted by the CRC right now.
yeah,
So so by rights, by virtue of that, I would say they should all be put forward to the town council. Again, unless maybe our votes don't mean that, but I would think that they would. So, but I'm more than happy to debate concept 2, if someone would like to debate it further.
well, in my memory of
I think we
last
did-
meeting was that we did say that if there's anything in any of these motions that we feel need to be revisited, it can be revisited
Right.
here tonight.
And I like to, I'm sorry, I think it's dealing with the budget, the town budget, and those are all parts of the budget. School committee, the town, and they need to work
A
together.
unified
They
team.
Yes, it's a
Yeah.
unified team. They have to discuss it, together,
So
to come up with something that is beneficial for the town as a whole.
I'll make a motion to reconsider budget concept 2.
I second it.
Okay. So that's because I voted in the majority, we can reconsider. So, I mean, let's
Okay,
decide. Should we go forward with that one or not?
budget concept 2, which is just the
Makeup.
composition of the budget committee.
So my understanding when I was writing this concept was that it's difficult to recruit people to run for the budget committee. And again, it would potentially bring in members of the town council and school committee as well as a treasurer into the process earlier and hopefully give them more, give the budget committee itself more insight into where each of those entities were, including the treasurer, and help with communication back to their various originating bodies. And that's why I voted in favor of it. Again, it's not something that, yeah, that was the idea.
Okay.
Yeah,
Unless anybody else has a different.
And I voted
understanding
against
of
it because I don't even understand how it would work. I mean, school committee's busy with their own school committee, town council has a lot of work to do just on their own town council. And you're now asking for 2 members of the school committee and 2 members of the town council to also be members of the budget committee.
Oh.
And we've also agreed to give the budget committee more, a larger role in
Mhm.
terms of financial advice on budget stuff. It just sounds like, I don't see it working practically. And I-
Unless
Let me make the argument a different way. So right now, if you really look at what's gone on for the last 2 years, the town council is the de facto budget committee. The budget committee does work, but it's kind of, I'm not sure how much it actually impacts what the town council adopts. So this still gives, so they're not going to be any busier than they already are if the budget committee actually has more authority.
But they have to be there at all the meetings. They're part of it. And to get a quorum, you're gonna need, I-
Do we
I
have
think-
currently
I don't-
town council members that are assigned
Yeah.
to collaborate
Yeah, I
with
was
the
gonna
budget
ask
committee?
that.
So
Yeah,
there-
that's a liaison.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
liaisons to like all kinds of things, up to and including budget
Mhm.
committee and the school committee. Depending on the individual member, they, sort of pursue that with great passion, or they're not too much around.
Mhm.
But they're also not voting members or don't have a,
right.
platform to speak from other than as a member of the public. I mean, they can identify themselves, they usually do identify themselves as a liaison, and, so everybody knows each other, everybody else more or less. But this is actually giving them the authority or the responsibility to craft the budget. And I think that's part of the reason why I think that the town council's too busy doing the budget. So, you kind of want to do this along with not having them so responsible for the budget. I think that's part of the problem. But-
So if we change the composition of the budget committee to reflect these members, and we have a motion, there's been a second, we haven't voted on to do this, reconsider it, although it seems like we're in the discussion phase. But if we change the composition and we also have the budget committee submitting the budget to the elector in the first position on the ballot, have we neutered
Yes.
the budget, the town council, the school committee with their abilities to unify, or are we making it simpler for them? Because now their representatives are on the budget committee and their say is being heard.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do we still need to leave an avenue for them to, if there's only 2 school committee members and they don't like what's voted, because in the minority, do we still leave them an avenue to submit a budget?
I would say yes.
I would think so.
I'm in favor of most of these things. I think I voted in favor of most of these things. But that doesn't mean that the council would take them up and or put them on the ballot and or that they would succeed, that they would pass on the ballot.
Right.
But I think what all of these things with the exception of the calendar one, that's more of almost a ministerial issue. But what each one of the other 5 of them do is they're trying to give a little bit more expansion to access to the ballot for people who want to, because we took it away,
Mhm.
Again, I voted for it, I'll own that. You've basically taken away, one of the 4 things that particular amendment did, or 2 of the 4 things. One of them was it made it a lot harder to submit a petitioner's ballot. The second was it took away from the town council and the school committee the ability to put their own budget on the ballot. When you think about it, what it really did was just take away the ability for the school committee to do that, because the town council is the final adopter of the unified budget anyway.
Yeah.
So it
What's your
was,
thought?
I would, yeah.
Unless they
To
present
clump
them
them
in
all together was
This is
probably
insane.
not good
an electorate.
governance, but it
What?
certainly achieved the result that some people wanted.
My thought.
Yeah.
Oh.
Go ahead, Rob.
No.
I'm concerned. I'm concerned. There was a special meeting held 2 days before Thanksgiving, past our scheduled end. 5 people were there. What are we doing here? We're supposed to leave this meeting in 30 minutes, and we're having this whole stale. Like the committee took a vote, and as far as I could see, the pointer was to put implementing language in, and now we're reopening an entire visit that we've had 24 plus meetings to do. So I'm troubled. I don't think it would be healthy for the commission to come out of this, with a sense that there was a last minute change with just 5 people the 2 days before Thanksgiving.
Make
That's
it more
my
copacetic.
that's my thought, and I don't.
It was
Just
a
answering your question.
It was a duly scheduled meeting. I mean, you can not like the concept, that's fine, and I'm not sure that it should go forward either. But there was nothing underhanded about it.
I'm not saying it's underhanded, I'm just answering Nancy's questions, how I feel about where we are. I thought we showed up at this meeting to wrap up the commission and put these things in front, not to take new substantive matters unless the Harbor Commission came in with something, which they didn't. So that's just my opinion.
So if we think back on what we've done over the course of this year, we wanted to see the ability to present the unified budget return to the Budget Committee. We wanted to see the school committee have an opportunity to see the budget before they have to vote on layoffs. Can we agree on those two items, actually?
Yes.
Yeah, that, when the school, the superintendent of
Does-
schools, that was the big thing, is to change the date on the budget
And-
on the budget, so that
Right.
things could get done sooner, so if the layoffs had to occur, it wasn't at the last minute and somebody's going, I'm sorry, you're being laid off. Wait a minute, school just ended and now I have to go look for a job.
So we've also spoken about giving the town council and the school committee the opportunity to present a budget. Would that be the third? Is that three things that we can agree on, or? The other concepts were discussed but never fully vetted over the course of the 11 months. And I know what you're saying. The idea of a financial committee, budget committee, call it whatever you'd like. I like that concept, but we never really got to absent last week.
Well, we did
No.
discuss
Yeah,
it
we
much
did
earlier
discuss
than
it.
that.
Yeah,
we
Nancy
did,
Mello has brought it up several times, so it was.
Yes, but we never had a motion until last week, and so do we make that the budget committee? We want the budget committee to submit the budget. We want it done in time for the schools to have the ability to act on it, and we want to have the school committee and the town council with the ability to submit an alternative.
So I think, Mike, you're mixing up 2 and 3. So 2 was the thing that was voted on last week.
Yep.
3 was discussed on the 17th and 18th pretty thoroughly, I thought, and even before that.
Yes, yep.
Yeah.
We talked about it, absolutely.
Yeah.
And each one of these was adopted by a vote, so.
I think the thing that I'm finding that is contradictory is what was discussed earlier was the budget committee as a budget committee, not creating new members of a budget committee or a new membership mixture. And also, in addition, giving it more budgeting, financial responsibility. And I'm fine with all of that. I'm not fine.
That's 3. 2 was changing the composition. So 3 is giving them more
Correct.
responsibility.
Yes, which we talked about and
Right.
voted on.
Right.
So should we,
So the motion right now is basically to withdraw 2,
Yes.
if you will.
I guess I have to ask, what do you want me to do with the minutes that we all just approved? That I keep hearing everybody say doesn't reflect votes that were taken? I mean, do I need to?
well,
I don't think I can
the
submit those.
minutes are the minutes. They were votes taken. But the comment was made that if there's a discussion on this, and we can revisit this.
Did we approve the minutes from last week?
We did.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Unanimously.
Yes.
We may need to address that. then,
Yeah,
because how
Yeah.
and this
we're
commission
enacting
term
That's not
ends
correct.
in, well, I'm leaving in 18 minutes, so it's,
Wasn't that the?
unless you
Nixon,
want to continue again tomorrow night, but
Let's see if we,
There's a motion on the floor.
to withdraw the budget committee restructuring.
That's essentially, so I think that based on my understanding of Robert's Rules of Order, but let me, correct me, Rob, if I'm wrong, you're probably better at it than I am. So the motion was to reconsider. If the motion passes, then that negates the prior vote. So a vote in the affirmative on this motion takes 2 away, and then you'd probably have to try and make another motion if you want to readopt it.
I have to tell you, I've never been of the view that we're required to follow Robert's rules unless the body
Okay.
has itself adopted that, and we don't. So I think the commission is bound to the inherent authority of the chair on any of these rules.
And I don't want to look up whether we need a supermajority or anything to do that, so.
I can withdraw that motion, and I can make a different motion to take away concept 2. Trying to be collaborative here.
I understand, yes. And we'd like to push this over the finish line, I know. So you've made a motion, and Nancy seconded to reconsider that
Right.
restructuring of
Or to
the,
withdraw it?
Well, the motion, so, yes, I believe that a vote in the affirmative on the motion basically withdraws concept 2 from one of the things that we have adopted. Unadopts it. Disadopts it.
does everybody understand the motion? So concept 2, as it's written here, will be withdrawn.
Withdrawn.
Yeah. Second.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? I see Nancy, Rob, Jerry, Dennis, and myself.
I gotta write this down.
All opposed?
Okay.
Diane and Ellie.
There's 7 of us?
Yes.
No abstentions?
I'm sorry, what?
Asked if anybody abstained from
No
No,
abstentions?
no
All right.
abstentions.
You make this tough for me to prove these tonight. All right,
All right, so
Coulter, Janik.
concept 1 is changing the date of the, to finish to May 1st. And it also mentions the town council and the school committees have to submit their, do we need to tell them that they have to do that, or do we leave them with the flexibility to create their own schedule? Knowing that there has to be a completion by May 1st.
I would recommend that we still build a schedule.
Yeah, leave the
Okay.
schedule.
I think that town council, if they even take it up, will sort of determine that ultimately.
All right, so basically, item 1 up there can be massaged to reflect this.
Yes.
All right, concept 3.
Sorry, would it be any quick objection if we took a ratifying vote on concept 1? I think that would, if we're unanimous on it,
Oh.
I think that would look nice.
Yep,
Does it,
If you
is
want.
that okay? All right.
Ben voted,
But
okay.
was there a slight change in the dates, or everything is exactly as?
as in concept 1,
Yep.
there was a slight
I would
change.
just change May 15th to May 1st.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna take that motion, and I'm not sure if it's ratification, but reapprove budget concept 1 with the date change of May 15th to May 1st.
On the
April
last date
15th.
given.
Yep.
On the
Because-
last date given.
In the last sentence.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
change May 1st, May 15th to May 1st.
Okay.
Change of May 15th.
Okay, concept 3.
Is there no second on that?
All right, so Rob made the motion, right?
Yep.
Ellie second.
I seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous.
Thank you. Back to you.
Who do you have for the second on that, Rob?
I have Ellie.
Ellie or Jerry? I know you had said it as well, but, okay, so Ellie's in.
They take turns, I think.
All right, concept 3. In addition to creating and submitting a unified budget, Budget Committee is charged with engaging in forecasting and planning, as well as blah, blah, blah. Budget Committee should meet at least once monthly throughout the year, and more frequently as required by its duties. I think that was, everybody was okay with that? Is there anybody that was not?
I'd move to take a ratifying approving vote of concept 3.
Second.
All right, we have Rob, we have Ellie, all in favor? Did you abstain, Nance?
No, I'm sorry. No, I'm in favor.
Okay.
Sorry.
You're closest to the camera, I want to make sure I had.
Oh, thank you.
I'm sorry,
Concept
who
four.
seconded that one?
I did.
Ellie,
Thank you.
what did you?
Budget 4.
Budget concept 4, that the town council school committee shall have the option of placing a ballot an alternative budget. The body opting to place it shall only modify those sections pertains to their area of authority. Those sections on the alternative outside the authority shall be derived from the unified budget as adopted by the town council budget committee as provided for in section 301B6 and B7. Such an alternative budget must comply with all laws and restrictions on the cap on increases.
Move to adopt.
Second?
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Can there be any discussion?
Absolutely.
I'm almost afraid to ask, but actually, I'm not gonna ask. I support.
So we are unanimous?
Diane on second on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, would you consider this a ratification of the last vote, or is this new stuff?
All these have already been voted.
That's,
So-
well, I know, like, we didn't change the date or anything. This is pretty much exactly as, okay.
Jerry, just clarification on language on concept 4.
Yep.
The second to last sentence, derived from the unified budget as adopted by the York Town Council?
Yeah, because it
Last-
depends on whether or not we keep, that can be changed to.
Just budget committee?
You know what, I would actually just say, I would just, as adopted, period.
As adopted, as provided for in section, so strike by the town council
Yeah,
budget committee.
because it's possible, although not likely, that the budget committee will be the one to adopt the unified budget.
Okay.
I'm sorry, so what do we,
Just put a period after as adopted, and then delete the rest of that sentence.
got it. Okay, and it's, any objection to the motion, second, and unanimous vote reflecting the same edit? Thank you.
Concept 5, in the event town council adopts a unified budget different than that submitted by the budget committee shall have the authority to place before the voters the unified budget that was adopted by the, is this,
So this is,
So this is in the absence of them
Contradictory.
reverting the authority to adopt the unified budget to the budget committee. It's giving the budget committee the same authority or the same option that the school committee and the town council previously had to place on the ballot their own alternative budget with that. Basically, it's just removing the burden of signatures. Anybody who's on these committees is an elector and can put forward their own budget. They just need to get 300 signatures, which is not impossible. It's,
Time consuming.
it's time consuming and,
yeah, it requires an organization
yes.
that has to be basically in place before
Right.
the window
Yeah.
opens.
Yeah, but, if you got 10 dedicated people, they can each get 30 signatures. I've done it in a couple hours.
Yeah.
So,
Living in different parts of the town.
So 5, so the council already had, we gave the council budget access in 4, right?
right.
But
So what are we accomplishing?
do we
by-
need,
This is giving it to the budget committee. So again, some of these things are dependent
Right.
on what they take up and or adopt
Okay.
elsewhere, which is why you can't really specify what the language of the charter would be. You have to decide, this is gonna be the concept, and you then need to harmonize them. You need to harmonize the language of the charter with the concept as they, and that's a solicitor's job.
so I thought we had a little bit of a blend here, which was simply that the budget committee shall be placed on the ballot in first position,
The budget committee or the town council?
the budget committee. And then we added, because of budget concept 4, we've then added the council and the school committee the right to also be on
Right.
the ballot. So I don't know that we need 5 or 6. Well, it's like a blend of the two, I would say, that would just,
Well, right now, the town council adopts a unified budget.
right.
Yeah.
But I thought the sense of the commission, and it was,
Yeah.
the budget committee not only gets direct ballot access, but will get first position.
So the concept 1 gives that to the budget committee. 3 and 4 give the town council and the school committee the option to put something forward.
one?
No,
The
one
budget
is
committee
just about
must be
the
adopted.
calendar.
Timing.
Yeah, when's the calendar?
Well, it says the budget committee must adopt the final unified budget by April
Right,
15th.
so that's the weird thing about the charter. They're both called final unified budgets. And sometimes it's capitalized and sometimes it's not. Just another thing I
Okay.
noticed.
All right.
So the budget committee adopts a unified budget. I'm talking about like right now as the charter is read. The budget committee adopts a unified budget. That goes to the town council that adopts a preliminary unified budget. They're both called unified budgets. That's why in one, it's also referred to as a unified budget. The final unified budget is what is adopted by June 30th, which is too late. What 5 does is it confers on the budget committee in the event that the town council retains the authority of adopting the final unified budget. The budget committee can also place a budget on the ballot. That was what we had talked about, like on the 18th.
Is there any discussion?
Yeah, that was on the 18th.
I think it was on the 18th. 18th was 17th.
So is there a way to make this simplified and just say the budget committee shall propose a unified budget for the ballot? In the event there's more than one budget proposal on the ballot, the budget committee's proposal shall appear first. Period.
No, because you'd have to have them also take up the issue of giving the budget committee access to the ballot, or to be the final determiner of what is on the ballot. Right now, they have no role in putting anything on the ballot.
Right, that's what I want to put on here. You're saying
That's
that's what
what
budget
5 is
concepts
doing.
5 is for?
5 is giving the budget committee access to the ballot, assuming that the town council doesn't transfer the authority of adopting the preliminary unified budget on
Okay.
the ballot back to, you know, they.
You're just
that's what I'm
doing it,
saying.
you're doing it with finesse, is what you're doing here,
Well,
I
I'm
see.
doing it, again,
So the budget committee doesn't go on the ballot if the council agrees with the budget committees, I think is what that, well,
No, so there's what is the, status quo right now, which is the only entity that has authority, well, there's 2 entities that have authority to put something on the ballot. One is the town council. The other is an elector or petitioner.
right.
But that person has to gather 300 votes. What we're doing is saying, actually, there are other entities in the town, such as the budget committee, that will have access to that ballot without the burden of signatures. Now, so let me rephrase it. Say the town council says, you guys are brilliant, we're going with concept 6. Then concept 5 is moot. It doesn't need to be pursued at all. Because, well, again, it would have to, it's assuming that their adoption of concept 6
Well,
moves forward.
they're not really adopting the budget, they're proposing a budget,
Who is?
concept 6.
So concept 6, so should have said the final unified budget, sorry. So the authority to adopt the final unified budget rests with the town council and only the town council.
Right.
Budget concept 6 would return that authority to the budget committee, so now then the town council wouldn't have it anymore. None of us really thinks the town council is going to go for that.
But they can't really adopt the budget committee if there was a competing proposal that was voted by the electors.
Town
Right.
council?
The budget committee would never adopt the budget. This just makes it sound like the budget committee can completely sidestep the entire financial town referendum process.
Article 5 or Article,
Budget concept
concept
6.
5 or 6?
At least that's how I'm reading it.
In black and white, yeah, you,
No.
it's
So,
final.
so right now, again, Article 3, Section 301B7 is the one where it says that the town council, I think,
Yep,
do I have the right section?
you do.
Yeah.
So
Town council.
that where it says the town council adopts a final budget. That's by June 30th.
That's a preliminary unified budget in section 7.
Oh, yeah. Right, it's the preliminary unified budget because that's the one that goes on the ballot,
Yep.
assuming there's an election. So, or a referendum. So what concept 6 does is says the town council doesn't do that anymore, the budget committee does it. That's what used to always happen. That was before 2022, that is how the budget process worked. Was that the budget committee adopted a final budget or a preliminary budget. Keep on getting caught up. Adopted a preliminary budget, that went on the ballot. If there was no petitioner's ballot, you still had an election or referendum where there was only one thing on the ballot, which was also part of the rationale for the budget, the charter changes previously, was because then you didn't have to, if there was no petitioner's ballot to challenge what was adopted by the town council, then you didn't have to have the referendum. But at the same time, they transferred the authority for the adoption of the budget that goes on the ballot to the town council from the budget committee. You guys following?
I
So
am.
what we voted on, and I think it was 7-2, the whole commission present, was J. Larkin moved to propose the BC assume the authority currently vested with the council at arriving,
Right.
not at adopting, but at arriving in a unified budget, and is also charged with financial analysis and forecasting. There was then a later second motion that made clear that the school committee and the town council would also have ballot access.
Right.
So is there anything wrong with what we've already voted on?
No,
Nope.
but I thought we had voted 5 as well, maybe in the same meeting, where we said that, and again, you would not adopt 5 and 6 because they're sort of mutually exclusive. If you adopted 6, then you don't need 5. But if you don't adopt 6, then 5 is giving the budget committee the option of also putting a budget on the ballot. They don't have to, but they can.
What we voted was the adopted unified budget of the budget committee be placed on the ballot at the budget committee discretion, which just
Yeah,
what you said.
yeah, more or less, I think.
Um,
Thanks. So, and I
So
guess
it
might
gives them
even-
an avenue to the ballot.
Yes,
And
which, again, they could still do as petitioners if they wanted to, or electors if they wanted to.
Yeah, I think Budget Committee 5 is saying in a kind of more of an elegant manner, where I'm saying more brute force, like the Budget Committee will get on the ballot. I think what 5 is saying,
They can
if the
decide.
town council doesn't take for itself the budget committees, then the Budget Committee.
Correct.
It's got a little more, it's a spin on the ball,
Elegance.
very elegant.
Thank you. That's
So,
what I always use, that's what I'm usually accused of.
I mean, I guess I'm neutral on that, but I don't know that we would want 6 because,
Well, I think that's the question, is do we even try and put 6 forward? Because I don't think that there is much enthusiasm on the current council for,
well, plus
Adopting
we
it.
support concept 4, and I think it's hard to read 4 and 6 together.
you're right.
Right.
Well, no, they would
Yeah.
actually be restoring what was the status quo ante, which was essentially the budget committee adopted a budget, but then the town council, that's why both entities actually had that option, was because neither the school committee nor the town council could dictate to the budget committee what they adopted. It was like, why it was always so fraught to go before the budget committee, was like, at that.
What if budget concept 4 what if concept 6 was the open, the authority for adoption of the preliminary budget, show us the budget committee. However, both the town council and school committee, by vote of the vice, shall have the option of placing an alternative budget.
You would want 4 if they adopted 6. Again, that's going back to the way
Right.
it was before
Right.
2022. If you adopted 6, you wouldn't need 5. If you don't adopt 6, you want 5.
Why not combine 6 with 4 is what I'm saying.
Oh, well, because
Have
I
the
think it's
opening
easier for
sentence
people to sort of think about one thing at a time. That was, I mean, if you ask me, that was the fault of the way the charter amendments were framed in 2022. It was all like one big ball of wax, and I'm not sure I would have voted for for having the authority to adopt the preliminary unified budget and the final budget, final unified budget with the town council. I was kind of voting against the petitioner's budget because I thought the threshold was way too low with 50 signatures.
Yep. All right.
So if we, at this point, we're talking concept 5, ratification.
Right. I'll make the motion.
There's a motion.
I'll
Jerry?
second. I'll
Ellie?
second it.
I'm sorry, I just gotta catch up with it here.
Yep.
I'm sorry, who moved?
Jerry moved. Concept 5. Ellie seconded.
Got it.
I'll call a vote. All in favor? We have 6.
6-1.
Rob is all against?
I'm just going to
You abstain.
abstain, but suggest that I support on the record, I'd like to say that I support the concept, but not particularly the approach. For
Okay.
what that's worth.
So abstained. All right, that's concept 5. Concept 6 is the authority for adoption of the final unified budget. That one change needs to be made, final unified
It has to be
budget.
final. Because it's
Just have to
confusing.
say final
because
child
they
care.
kind of differentiate by budget. There's preliminary, and then there's final, and then there's.
Yes. So, all right, is there any discussion regarding returning that authority to the budget committee?
I don't think they'll adopt it, but I think it's worth making the point to see if they'll at least discuss it.
We voted as a body in the majority to move it forward, so I
Yeah,
agree
let's
that
go.
we need to move it forward.
Then let's move it forward,
So I'll make the motion.
and I'll
Okay.
second it.
Jerry,
Can I just
Ellie?
ask, remind me again, I'm not fighting it, why do we need 6 if we have 4 and 5?
Because they don't necessarily, we don't know what they'll adopt.
Right. It leaves
Either-
as an avenue to the budget committee still having a path to the ballot.
Let me phrase it a different way, Rob.
Mhm.
If we had access to the ballot as the Charter Review Commission, then we could hammer out exactly what we think is best and put it before the voters. We don't. We have to try and persuade the town council that as much as regardless of what you think about how the budget process works right now, good or bad, there are issues, and we want them to consider some of these issues, such as, should the budget committee have more authority? Should the control of the budget process be so squarely placed within the authority of the town council? Right now, very few entities have authority over it. And we're talking about extending their terms of office. So, yeah, I would like to have a discussion about it. But we, you know, if we were able to fashion our own referendum questions,
Yep.
then we could sort of try and resolve some of these conflicts. You can't,
Is it-
you can't adopt all of them because, again,
Is it
5
fair
and
to
6
say
are sort of
that
mutually exclusive?
4 and 5 as a package are our primary
Yes.
recommendation, and 6 is our alternative recommendation? Is that,
Well,
I don't know that you can even make that. I think that 4 and 5 do come together and they complement each other. I think they still need to consider whether or not they think it's in the best interest of the town to continue to have the final adoption of the unified budget rest with the town council. I'm pretty sure they're all gonna still say yes, but
yeah.
let's have them at least
I think in my view, actually.
decide not to take it up.
4 and 6 go together.
No.
And 5
Yeah.
is a,
okay, I won't fight it.
is an escape hatch.
I just,
It just makes me sad that, you know, we've had this discussion, and I hate to revisit it, but I will, that we don't agree with the position of the town. We don't, because I don't think Rob does. I think Marcelo's wrong. He couldn't come up with a case that's on point. So we're all living in this lie that the town council, that we're just advisory as opposed to our own elected body. And the end result of what's happening is that we as an elected body charged with giving something to the electors that we want to see change, they don't get to really see our work product. And it's sad to me.
I'm gonna need you to take the minutes from here. I can push it. The clock is not right. I have a
So,
childcare issue, so I gotta go in about 4 minutes.
Concept set 6.
We don't think anybody's gonna say these are incompatible with each other, and we haven't given them a coherent recommendation. Because it sounds like some of you are convinced that 6 complements 4 or 6 complements 5. So, and in the unlikely event that they just say everything the council has is now the budget committee's, that's works too.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
all right, very well.
They will have to, there are conflicts, they will have to resolve them.
Yep.
We can't resolve them because we don't have the authority, we don't have access to the ballot.
Okay. Whose motion was 6?
It was Jerry's motion with Ellie's second.
Okay. Kelly's second. All right. I support.
All right, is there any more
Discussion?
discussion? Yes, please.
Do we need clarification on number 6? As it reads, the authority for adoption of the unified budget shall rest
Yeah.
with the budget
It should be the
committee.
final unified budget, if that's what you're
The-
getting at.
Including the final approval of the unified
Yeah.
budget and wording for the ballot, is that the full picture?
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm concerned if it's presented as it's worded there, they might think, yeah, they do adopt a unified budget.
So
Their
what do we-
own.
Okay,
What's the
yeah,
wording?
yeah, yeah.
So what are we
For the
doing?
ballot, Yeah, so you want to specify that it's for the ballot. That's a good point.
Of the final unified.
Clarify adoption means approval for the ballot.
And it's technically, that's the preliminary budget, it has to be.
Yeah, the wording is terrible.
It is terrible.
We used to have Alex here too, right?
Is there any other discussion? I'll call for a vote. All in favor? We are unanimous. Moving on. We are at Article 4, the Town Council. This was mine to suggest some language. Diane had this language. I
I got
couldn't
a childcare issue. I can't mess
I
with it.
can't top it. So we're changing the term to 4 years, and the reasoning there, stagger the terms to maintain continuity. So the top 4 vote getters would get appointed 4 years, the 3 lowest would get a 2-year term. Everybody good with that?
Yep.
Under the and stop me, but under town administrator, under the qualifications,
Just a
the
second.
summary is that we're gonna.
The name of that
put-
document again, that's Diane's.
Is CRC draft 11/27/25.
It's just the title, of it. It's the vice chair's recommendations. I had a good word for it. It was,
So we're gonna replace the current language, which only specified a bachelor's degree, and give them the candidates must satisfy minimum qualifications as established by the town council.
right.
Yeah.
And we also recommend this language be used for all appointed positions within the charter. Any questions, concepts, issues? All right. Next, we change the town treasurer from elected to appointed. All good?
Yep.
Budget committee, that was the change in the concept to the composition, to 2 members of the town council, 2 members of the school committee, the town treasurer, and 2 electors.
Well, if they're not gonna be able to approve
This
this.
can lead to extended discussion. We voted on this last week,
We just withdrew it.
Yeah, we just withdrew it.
That's right, I'm sorry. Okay. It's actually in my notes for,
Oh, sorry.
703, their duties.
Rob has a quick question.
Yeah,
Before he goes.
I have a very hard childcare,
Yep.
so I'm not sure how you want to approve these minutes, and I think Nancy wants to reopen the prior minutes. So
I just
my
want to,
suggestion to all of you is either one, we'll have to call an emergency meeting tomorrow, or I might suggest you give authority to the officers to submit,
So-
sign the minutes, and then if anybody has an objection or a correction, you can submit something that would still be part of the public record. They might not necessarily be attached to the Secretary of State, but they would be a part of the public record that I would be charged with keeping, is
so
the
wait,
way I
are we
would handle
doing that
that.
tonight?
N-
We would do the
We're
motion.
giving them the, you're giving the
Yeah,
officers.
because we don't have time for me to read the minutes
Yeah.
to you, plus this meeting's gonna keep going, so.
So I'll make a motion
That's-
to give the officers the authority to modify final versions of the minutes from November 24th and or 25th.
25th.
25th? Is that the only date we need?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
that- we had a
I
meeting on
I guess what I
Thursday.
just mean to say is that the filed minutes will be as
Yeah.
agreed among the 3 of us, with every member of the commission having the right to put a clarification objection on the public record.
Okay.
And then that's how we get around, and you can even do that after the term ends, I think it's fair to say. And I
So
think
we-
that's how we wrap that up.
We have a motion.
Yes,
We
so
have,
moved.
we have a second.
Okay.
Dennis?
So what's the motion? We
That the
have-
To allow
officers will
Go ahead.
modify the minutes or adopt the minutes as needed, or as adopt the minutes with a,
For the November
Copy.
25th meeting.
for the November 25th meeting with a copy to all members of the Charter Review Commission who have the capacity to object, make an objecting statement as needed.
Yeah, so the way this will work, Nancy, is the 3 of us and you, because you're gonna take the minutes from this point on, all 3 of us will sign the final minutes. They'll be distributed out to the whole body. If anybody has any problem with what was sent, they can put something in writing. It won't change the minutes, because the term will have ended, but it will be part of the official record, which will be open for public inspection. You can always say, hey,
Okay.
maybe
But I
not.
won't have your minutes.
You won't, I'll publish them
Okay.
tonight, or I can email them to you right now. I don't know how late you all want to go, but,
Rob,
then-
do you want to send it to me and I could add
sure.
anything in and finish them and Nancy and I can review it at the end? How does that sound, Nancy?
Yeah.
I'll take notes right on there. That seems appropriate.
That's a motion, right?
Yep.
We have a motion, and we had a second by Dennis,
Second by Dennis.
and call a vote, all in favor? Unanimous.
So Diane's gonna take them?
Diane's gonna finish tonight's meetings,
Well,
minutes.
you take your notes, I'll have Rob's document and try to complete it tonight so we can approve them. Because otherwise, what we'd be approving is the portion that Rob has done and whatever other notes that you would have, so I'm willing to type them onto the document so they're all in one place.
He's gonna send you this?
Okay, so section 701 here, we'll be pulling that out. Unless there's
Okay,
whatever in the note, November 25th
okay.
discussion Nancy would like to revisit. So what I just said, Nance, was, oh, it's already gone.
See?
What was it?
That was section 701, which was the composition of the budget committee that we'd had last week. With two town
Okay.
council, two school committee,
Yeah.
the treasurer, and
And
two
it's-
electors.
Okay,
Was that what you were looking to revisit
right,
from last week?
yeah.
And does that,
Okay, just make sure.
what
you
is
got this.
your, what point would you like to make? I'm sorry.
I thought we had agreed to withdraw,
Yes,
To vote.
yes. Correct.
and that's where it agreed sits?
Yep,
Okay.
yeah. All right.
Yep. have
So,
them.
the duties and responsibilities, we're looking to make them full-time, year-round. Working on a deeper analysis of the budget. Any discussion? Fire and rescue, we're pulling the volunteer firefighters out. Article 10, planning board. This was just changes that they had recommended to come into compliance with Rhode Island general laws. And the provision of a full-time planner, which Ellie has created and provided everybody with a copy of a proposal.
So what section is this?
We're in
1001?
1001, and the second bullet there, it's going to include the provision of a full-time planner.
Yeah.
And in front of everybody, or at least
Yeah, I
distributed,
gave
was the
everybody.
proposed language. It'll be appointed by the town administrator with the approval of the council for an initial period not to exceed 3 years. Renewals shall not exceed 3 years. They'll work with and advise the planning board regarding land use, physical growth, and development of the town by creating and implementing long-term plans for land use, sustainability, and community growth. Town planner shall balance the needs of the community environment and county by reviewing development proposal, analyzing data, and making recommendations to the planning board in order to ensure functional, safe, and sustainable town growth. That's fairly,
And that will be getting rid of,
no, it'll be an it'll be an
Add.
be a
addition.
third bullet.
Well, it's just, do you have this in front of you? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
What part, what section of it?
it's, this, okay, I'm sorry.
Or do we want to, it looks like the language that Ellie has given could go into, is the language of the charter,
Yes. it's-
Yeah,
right?
yes, I
Yep.
wrote it so that it would go right into the charter.
So it'd be a third bullet.
So
Yeah,
our suggested, so we have right now, include the provision of a full-time town planner to work in collaboration with the planning board. And then what that is summarizing is what what will change in the language to put in Ellie's language?
We can,
Or is it more than that?
we can either put it in or we can add it as a, as an attachment for proposed language. However you wanna, however you'd like to do it.
Looks like we could just plop it right in there.
That's true. Is everybody fine with the language?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
very similar to what's actually in the charter right now. No, excuse me, you're wrong.
We don't have a
I'm
plan
wrong,
right
yeah,
now.
we don't have it right now, so that's
No,
what we
there
would
isn't.
put.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna make a note to myself to add Ellie's language.
So the zoning board of review, these were changes that were sent to Mike Marcello. And he has what the full body of the changes would be, including a summary is streamlining the process for applications, new provisions, special use permits, and enhanced procedures for appeals and decisions by the ZBR, which comply with Rhode Island general laws. The personnel board,
So we're just accepting 1002 stays as it is right there?
basically, we're gonna turn it over to the council, and Mike Marcello will bring the, that section into compliance with the RIGL.
Oh, gotcha. Section 1002.
Yep. Section 1007, Personnel Board. We had clarification of the hiring of the town administrator that they requested. There's an attachment that is, sorry. There's the Personnel Board changes. The changes, the commission is changed to board to reflect what it's actually called. And they, did this add the chair, the vice chair and the other officers? That was the,
That's the zoning, that's the planning board.
okay. So, all right, so here's we get into the body of what we have had our discussions on, the hiring the town administrator. We gave the authority to the town council to hire the town administrator, review and approve the job description before posting and advertising. All applications shall be sent to the personnel board for review. If determined to be qualified, will be interviewed. After the interviews, the personnel board shall recommend to the town council applicants selected for further review. That was basically the personnel board suggestions after their review of the charter and the last process. I'm just going to scroll to see if there's any other.
So did we put in the minutes that we're adopting their personnel board recommendation?
We have previously voted on that.
Okay, so I don't have to worry about
Right.
it.
No. So this was the planning board's notes. So we've already, this has been reviewed already by us,
yeah.
and everybody's been in agreement with that. So at this particular juncture, is there anything for discussion that has been left untouched within this? I don't want to dive into a different subject that we haven't discussed prior.
No.
I just got notified I gotta join a work call at 8 o'clock.
Oh, cool.
Sorry.
You have to do what?
I have to join an emergency work call at 8 o'clock.
Uh-oh, let's hope it's not an emergency outbreak of anything.
Does anybody have any other questions, concerns, or comments? Are we comfortable that what we're going to present reflects the view of this body?
Yes, I believe everything that we've gone over, I believe reflects a lot on what we have discussed in this past year or so. It's quite a bit, so, yes.
Well, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I second it.
Mr. Larkin, Mrs. Byrne.
I thought you were gonna tell us we're getting bonuses.
All in favor? We have a unanimous. I gotta make a note that.
Who made the
seconded it?
motion? I didn't.
Jerry
seconded
did,
it.
Ellie seconded, I made,
I
make a note
seconded
that Rob.
it.
Who motioned? Oh, Mike.
Jerry
Jerry?
made the motion, Ellie
Yeah.
seconded, and it was unanimous.
You guys lucked out. I didn't have to babysit.